Alright, so just got out of my physio appointment at All Care. Got to see Ross, who was not the physio I was recommended. I was recommended to see Maria, who's a specialist in shoulder stuff, but Ross was really good. Yeah, a bit to unpack, I guess. I saw yeah, I was quite hopeful that with the MRI and seeing a specialist from somewhere with a really good reputation, that it'd go really well. And like, I'm not disappointed with level of professionalism or service. Like, yeah, lovely people and really know their stuff. But obviously they can't give me a magic pill. So we talked about issues of shoulder health and dysfunction, and that while he's not a radiologist himself, the conclusions of the MRI aren't necessarily the exact cause of the dysfunction and pain. And while the significant posterior labral tear is probably what causes some of the instability, which may have in turn caused some of the bursitis and discomfort and pain, it may not. That's not really the whole story of what's going on. So we really need to look at basically we're looking at solutions to improve symptoms, which in this case is reducing pain under load and chronic pain, of which there's not a massive amount, but it's enough to stop me doing any strength training of my upper body. So yeah, we ran through the similar movement resistance patterns, so stuff across the body, seeing how I move up and down, and putting pressure to sort of distend joints and see if the labrum is really causing significant issues. And yeah, there is a bit of we could replicate some pain and instability, but not a whole lot. And yeah, he said there may be some scapular issues of control and positioning, and that we'll need to improve some bits and pieces there. Definitely some shrug work. So we've got ideally a cable shrug at 30 degrees, maybe a banded thing, but probably not a barbell sort of thing. Definitely more of a something that's more open to movement. Posterior deltoid, single arm cable row. Yeah, single arm cable row, target on posterior deltoid, and then external rotation with a band. Pretty straightforward, but not just a nice, like boring, stable at the hip rotation, but also some across the body stuff, and basically trying to expose that posterior deltoid to a position where it's different positions and different weak points. She said that's how you get your different resistances and your different intensities, and can really improve that movement and strength and stability. And doing it maybe 3 times a week in a sort of strength theme, like 10 to 12 to 15, but moderate to heavy weight, like doing some actual weight where I can feel it. Another thing I took from it, which is something I sort of realised, especially more of the spinal issues thing, where chronic pain elevates your pain response, your pain sensitivity. So the longer you've had an issue or discomfort or pain, the more easily it's triggered, and your body gets very sensitive to it and responds quite quickly to the pain, and gets triggered even though there may not be actual damage and inflammation happening. And look at the recovery rate. So if your recovery rate's a day or two of moderate discomfort, you're probably not working that far outside of what you should be. But if it's really sore for a whole week, then yeah, you probably are. Yeah. Anyway, that's sort of wanted to touch on that straight out of the pool, straight out of practice. Not sure. I'll probably go see Ross again. I'm pretty happy with his response, and I feel like potentially I was a bit harsh on Steve, that he couldn't find something wrong with me and that wanted to jab me with cortisone. Yeah, like I understand it's difficult to diagnose these things, and you can diagnose them, but it's almost impossible to know exactly what caused it, what the actual problem is, and how to fix it. So yeah, I'm back to sort of square one of I've got more information and I've got a plan, but it's still entirely up to me to be proactive and improve the issue, which doesn't surprise me, and it's probably good no one's trying to push me to surgery, and I don't want surgery if I can help it. I just want to be fixed long term, but that's okay. Yeah, I haven't been getting to the gym much, but my shoulder hasn't been better. I got 3 mornings last week, which was really good. Did some lower body, a mixture, and then a back workout, legs, and then shoulders. I actually managed to do more or less a whole shoulder workout, and did some shoulder rehab stuff every day, and felt great. And then Thursday was not good, but that was the day after the shoulder workout, so it may have been that. And if I sleep on it slightly funny, it will not be happy, but that may still be within that acceptable pain tolerance of still improving it. So yeah, yeah, a lot of things to unpack, and basically at least I've got a plan that another health professional has given me, and I can implement it and measure some results, or at least, even if they're any very subjective, it feels okay, doesn't feel okay. Yeah, this is sort of step 2. I've got the most comprehensive diagnosis that was practical. Next step would be a dyed MRI, which probably wouldn't give me much more, or a arthroscopy camera, which, as far as I know, they don't do unless they're actually going to operate on it, which probably wouldn't even diagnose anything any more than the MRI has. So yeah, so basically the plan is now work on your shoulder in not so much compromised positions, but basically find its weak points that may or may not trigger pain, weak or unstable points, and work on them in a low to medium way, but work on it in a strength sense. Because yeah, the way I see it is that years of strength training got me to where I am, good parts and bad parts, so I can't expect to restabilize and strengthen the weak points of my upper body by doing 10 reps of a light TheraBand twice a week. That's not going to do shit all. It might make me feel good about it, but yeah, it's not going to fix it. Another thing that comes to mind on that is that he said, in terms of something like rotator cuff rehab, which isn't the issue I've got, but he said for rotator cuff recovery post-surgery, their success rates of sham surgery, or yeah, so it's like sham surgery where they drill a hole, stick a camera in, pull it out, and do the rehab, is just as successful as when they go in and stitch up whatever's torn. So you got the same rates of success of pretending to stitch you up as to actually stitch you up. Which just, yeah. So I just have to pretend that, yeah, that's, I think Dr. Carl said something similar about all you need is someone to bestow the placebo of surgery on you, and then you're cured and you just go about your rehab and you're fine. So consider this day one post-surgery rehab. Let's go. Let's go to the gym, hey? Or go have a beer, one of the two. Cool beans. Oh well, I will do at least 3 weeks of this with maybe some other bits and pieces, and then we will reassess, and I might have another appointment or just keep expanding my strength training from there. Alright, catch you next time.